I'm Charlotte and I'm trying to be an illustrator. I'm trying really hard.
How did you first get into illustration?
I did fine art at A-level, and my A-level teacher consistently said, "Your work's too much like illustration work. You're doing fine art, what are you doing?" So then I had no idea what I wanted to do, so I did a foundation year to decide whether I wanted to do fine art or illustration, and I went into illustration.
Cool.
It's really cool. I now do a proper degree in it.
Do you have any inspirations? So it's like illustrator inspirations and then more general. So go with like illustrator first and then...
Yeah. For illustrators, I'd probably say Polly Knorr. She's not as well known.
Oh, she's sick.
Yeah, you know, she's not like well known in like the main art community, but like her Instagram following is pretty big. And I went to one of her shows in Shoreditch a couple weeks ago, and it was amazing. In general, arty kind of terms, I'd probably say Turner. Very different to what I personally do, but I used to do quite a lot of landscapes. I still do enjoy doing them, they just don't really fit into my work as much anymore. But he did amazing landscapes in like the 1800s, and he's just a pretty badass guy, really. Yeah.
That you're often constrained into fitting a certain category with your art. Obviously, because it's illustration, you kind of have to go by a brief.
Yeah.
But do you find that you have to do a certain thing and you can't expand?
Obviously, like, your work does have to fit the brief, but within that you can pretty much try anything you want, especially this early on in the course, because obviously it's only first year, so you're still like exploring what you want to do. But I feel like there's like this stereotype of what illustration is, which I kind of feel like I have to stick to, but I'm trying not to, because I don't like stereotypes.
Yeah, because it does seem very prescribed. It has to be a certain cartoony kind of Quentin Blake style.
And like, I do enjoy doing that, like, I really do, but there's other stuff that I like to do, but I'm not sure whether that's just my interest in fine art coming through, or just that I like trying different things. I'm not really sure.
I feel like when you do a creative thing, it's hard to not blur everything together.
Yeah, everything kind of like pushes in together. Like, obviously, like, music plays a massive part in illustration and painting and stuff, and it sounds like weird, but it does. Like, a song makes you feel a certain way and you can put that on paper, and I just think that's a really cool thing to do.
So this publication it's a platform for young artists to get their work out there, but the overarching kind of theme or aesthetic is 80s based.
Yeah.
So do you find that the 80s inspires you at all, or?
The fashion, the like music, the makeup, it's all pretty like edgy, pretty interesting. Like the bright colours, like neon lights and stuff. I think it's pretty cool. I'm definitely interested in it. I enjoy looking at it. It's aesthetic. It's nice.
It's good. Do you find when you're approaching the 80s style, do you tend to think of a particular thing? Like, when I think of 80s, I think of the New Romantics. So I think of like Soft Cell and like Vivienne Westwood, the kind of, and Adam and the Ants, whatever it is, really weirdly dressed.
Yeah.
And different accessories and look a bit like pirates. But do you find that you tend to go towards the more stereotypical 80s with the bodysuits and the lycra?
Obviously, like, there's the not so nice stereotypes of the 80s where you're like, why did anyone wear that? But I'm quite like into, I don't know, like movies and TV shows and stuff from
so like
the 80s.
The Brat Pack, that kind of Breakfast Club, Pretty
yeah,
in Pink.
that kind of thing.
Is it Pretty in Pink? Pretty in Pink.
Yeah,
I always get them confused.
but also like more recent things that have come out that are set in the 80s, like Atomic Blonde for one, obviously set like early 90s, but it's like it kind of still works.
There's a lot of crossover between the decades, so it's like a lot of what we consider 80s is actually late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, and also I watched an episode of Black Mirror recently. It's called San Junipero or something, and like the plot was kind of cool, but a lot of it was set in like this 80s nightclub, and it was just like that's what I think of now, like really dark blue in there, and then like it was just like the lighting was just amazing, the neon like just crossed over each other, and like big curly hair, loud music. It was just like
so 80s for you is kind of the neon and the bright colours and the edginess and the...
Yeah.
Okay.
I just really love bright colours.
So, do you go to many events, so like networking events or things like that?
For like artwork?
Yeah.
Not so much. I did meet a couple people at the exhibition I was on about earlier for Polynaut. Didn't get any details, but we had a nice chat. We walked around the exhibition together. But since starting my course this year, I'm definitely making a lot more contacts within people on my course and like other first years. And there's an illustration society being set up, which is going to be really helpful because there's going to be like second and third years on it as well. So like I can talk to them and like just, you know, get inspiration and stuff. It'll be cool to work with other people.
Find that it's easy to speak to other art students about
other art students. Other art students just get what you're on about. Like you could not finish a sentence because you just can't find the words, and they're like, no, I get you. It's cool. Creative people are really easy to talk to about ideas because they understand the process that you go through, like with ideas and stuff. It's pretty cool.
So, social media. How do you find navigating social media? Do you find it more difficult than running your own personal account? Because that's something I definitely find difficult, and completely trashed my second account. So I'm using one account now because I can't keep up.
I do find it a bit harder because you can't say everything you want to say because you have to kind of maintain a level of professionalism. Because when people look at your business account, like your art portfolio business account, if they see you going on like a massive rant about something or other, they're going to think, I don't really want to hire this person, I don't really want to work with this person if they're carrying around this like vibe. So you kind of have to maintain like a level of professionalism, but also you have to try and be personal enough with the people who follow you, because you don't want to seem like too proper about it and too professional all the time. But so you need to like kind of have like, I can't think of the right words. Like you kind of need to be friendly with people still, and that's a really hard balance to find. I'm really struggling with that at the moment, actually. It's
difficult to get the right between, because you don't want to be too personal and even too political, because you don't know who.
Exactly, yeah. And like even just like with the captions to go with photos, like it's like the most recent ones I put up have been my coursework, so I've been like really proper about it, but then I'm like, that's not really me. I just sound like I sound really boring. Like people follow me for my personality as well that comes through in my artwork, so I need to kind of keep that going as well.
Do you find that your personality tends to go into your art a lot, or do you tend to keep back away from it?
In my coursework, I'd say like I kind of hold it back a little bit because it's easier, because it's not stuff that I would necessarily choose to do. But my own personal work is always, what would I enjoy seeing? What would my friends like to see me do? Kind of stuff. So I think it comes through a bit more.
I find it hard to get commissions for your work. Like, how many pieces have you actually sold?
Commissions like means someone has come to you and asked you to make something. I've only had like 1 or 2 official commissions, but a lot of the time I finish work and then people are like, actually, yeah, I want to buy that. So I don't know whether that counts or not.
Yeah.
But I've sold like a couple of paintings. I actually just sent 9, I think it was either 9 or 12 little paintings that I made into like this little leaflet booklet thing at the end of last year. I just sent them to Texas, so that was painting to a girl I know from home, and it was for her bedroom, because like we were friends and she liked it, she wanted it in her room. And then she took it home and her mum really liked it, so now it's up in their living room. And I just find that really weird that I'm part of like someone's house. It's really sweet and I love it, and it's just like I'm in their living room. People go around and see that and they're like, hey, nice painting. Like, I just find that like it's a really nice feeling though. Because the woman I sent the paintings to in Texas is like, she's just redone her bedroom and stuff, and she was messaging saying, I know exactly where I'm putting this, I've got a photo frame ready for all of this stuff, and it's just like,
that's really good.
yeah, it's a really nice feeling
Aww.
when other people like your stuff.